So, Mitch, things have been looking a bit doom and gloom for Chelsea. We were people were in my comments saying 264 games. What are you going to? Clearly, they didn't get the sarcasm, but we were a lot of games without a win. Very rare that we can sit here and say we've had 3 straight wins. And not only have we had 3 straight wins, we've had 3 straight wins against fairly tough opposition. Leeds is always going to be a hard match for Chelsea. Obviously, the win against Dortmund. I said, like, we had the result against Leeds, the performance against Dortmund, and now we needed a run. Well, we've gone away to Leicester City.
Got all 3 of them.
Could have scored 6. Only got 3 on the day. How are you feeling with Chelsea right now?
Feeling good. I mean, I haven't been able to say that in a long time, which is quite nice. Like you said, I think it was very important to get the win against Leeds, obviously the win against Dortmund, and now continue on that run. I think looking over the last sort of 2 to 3 performances that we've put out as a team, we look a lot more confident. And I think what was a key part in that was actually changing formation and going to a back 5, because that's when it started to change for us. You know, we've had 2 of the probably best fullbacks in the league, potentially in the world, with Reece James and Chilwell. And now that we've actually got them into the game, involved a little bit more, going to a back 5 system, I think it just opens up teams a little bit more, and it just helps us up top a little bit more, help create a little bit of overlap.
I think we've really took the handbrake off our fullbacks now by going to a back. They call it a back 3, back 5, whatever you want to call it. It is a back 5 essentially, because when you're defending, there's a 5 there. But yeah, going to that back 3, we've took the handbrake off our fullbacks. Obviously, unfortunately, we couldn't see Reece the other day. I'm told it was through illness, rather.
Yeah, through illness. Yeah.
I was thinking I was fuming with Jude Bellingham, man. I love Jude Bellingham. I'm proper hoping that he'll come Chelsea. But at the end of that match, you fucker. There's nothing more, that makes Chelsea fans' hearts sink than seeing Reece down, is there? And it's becoming something we see a fair bit now, so it's like...
And that was the only bit that I was fuming during the game. It was literally that last minute tackle that Bellingham had on Reece. Fucking hell, man. That was it. I thought, no, not again. We've just got him back. We're going to have to wrap this boy up in cotton wool until the knockout stages of the Champions League. But
he felt really hard done by Borussia Dortmund. Like, you see, like, was it Emre Can's interview? A few of them. I don't think they were. I think
they were just outclassed.
Over 180 minutes of football, you weren't good enough.
No.
We were better than them both legs.
Even in the first game, I think we had a great game in the first leg. But it was just one of those ones. The luck didn't necessarily go our way. It was one of the second time. Well, we were playing a back 4 at that time, and like I said just a minute ago, that going to a back 5 was a bit more pivotal for us, so we can get in behind the defence. But no, I agree with you. We were much better in both legs. It was a bit of a tough one to see, where you see sort of Emre Can obviously trying to defend his team, but obviously any player would do that. They feel like they're going to be hard done by, but mate, we outclassed them on both nights, and I think that was it. That was the difference, with all of our players. I couldn't say one player that necessarily played bad in any game. I think one player for me that I may have given a little bit of criticism towards recently was Koulibaly, and I think in both legs he was fantastic. Yeah, and building up to those games, ideally I wouldn't have wanted him to start. I was very cautious when we obviously didn't register Badiashile. But now, obviously, Koulibaly's there, more senior player, Champions League. He's been doing it for years. And I think he stepped up to a different level and proved why, he could potentially carry on that legacy with the 26.
We're a completely different beast in Europe.
Oh, yeah.
And the style of
different
football
gravy.
is so much different. So much different. So whereas the likes of Koulibaly might have been getting ripped for 3 goals against Leeds earlier on in the season, in the Champions League, it's a different tempo, it's a different intensity, different style almost. And some of these players, it's no secret that the Premier League's the hardest league in the world. And what that means is when these players come up, even the most talented ones, you look at the likes of a João Felix, Mykhailo Mudryk, I know he's still young, but, all these players, they'll play a lot better in those Champions League games. Let's be honest, our best performances this year have come in the Champions League.
Yeah, 100%.
Our best performances this year, 2 out of 3 of them. I'd say, I don't know about you, I'd say our 3 best performances, the AC Milan game at home, the 2-2 draw with Tottenham, which was obviously in the league, and then obviously the Dortmund game.
Yeah,
and followed closely by even the 1-0 loss to Dortmund, which is mad. It's mad that we can sit here and say that performances that we haven't even won in are some of our best ones this season, but I do genuinely feel like we're on the up now. I might be brought crashing back down to earth. You look at Liverpool, they're going to put 7 past Man United, don't change the team, lose 1-0 to Bournemouth.
Bit bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah, and that was my main worry. My main worry was that this weekend we were going to suffer a come down. I just sort of thought, I predicted 3-1. I was confident going into it, but I was worried at the same time in terms of is this a false dawn? I think that one thing Potter's done in these 3 games is he's bought himself until the end of the season.
Yeah.
And I think that if we can carry on, keep momentum going forward. The mad thing is, that run where we didn't win for, what was it? I think it was 1 win in 15.
Yeah, something crazy like
You
that.
see that run, yeah? The way the league's gone this year, if we had picked up 6 points more in that time, we would have been right in with a shout at top 4 right now.
We could be sitting 5th or 6th comfortably.
I think top 4's out of the question, if I'm honest. But I have always said, our next 3 games, you look at them. Everton, Villa, Liverpool. Yeah. If we can win against Everton and win against Villa, we go into that Liverpool match knowing that if we beat them at the Bridge, we could well be within a chance of really levelling up with them on points almost by that point if other results go our way. So what do you think the height is where we can finish this season?
Remember last time I was in the studio with you, we were talking about that exact same thing, and I sort of had, obviously hoping to finish off in top 4, which I thought would be a little bit out of reach, but I still think we can comfortably finish either 5th or 6th this season. I think that's more of a realistic goal, especially with all the changes that we've had, the injuries that we've had this season, and obviously trying to integrate new players in. One thing that I've sort of noticed recently as well is Potter seems to have a little bit more man management on the players, which I think is really good. He obviously managed the Modric situation pretty well, and I'm probably one of the first people to shout up. And when I thought he scored that goal yesterday, I was just so happy for him. But obviously, it got ruled off offside. But I think if he continues the way he's going, slowly integrate the team, building confidence in the players, I think we can maintain a good run of form, and I think we will be finishing in the top 5th or 6th section. We will be playing European football next season. Potentially not the Champions League. Well, we will play Champions League because obviously we're going to win it this year. So, we've got that to look forward to as well. But 5th or 6th, it's going to be for me. I don't see us finishing any lower than that.
Do you think we'll win the Champions League?
Mate, with Chelsea, stranger things have happened, man. We said this before. I mean, looking at this team that we have now, I think I'm more confident with this squad of players than I was when we won it in 2021.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the scariest thing. And our Champions League runs are ridiculous. I think I saw a stat the other day. It was we've lost 5 Champions League games out of 31 games. Which is ridiculous. And I think the last game that we lost in the Champions League was when we got knocked out to Real Madrid last year, and we went on to win the second leg 3-2. Just looking at those performances. But Chelsea are different on Champions League nights, and one thing that can help us is we got big game players, with the likes of Havertz, what he turns up on a Champions League night. And I think with this caliber of players that we've got, they might not be running on all 4 cylinders at the moment, but this is something that we can potentially do.
It might even help us that we're not in all 4 competitions and we can just focus on this. I mean, you look at both times we won the Champions League. Both times we had a mid-season managerial sacking. Both times we came from behind after the first game in the round of 16. And both times we weren't fancied.
No.
We were never fancied. I don't really think, apart from maybe the season we got to the final and got beat by Manchester United, I don't think there's really been a season when we have been fancied for the Champions League.
No.
I think there's a lot of similarities we can draw. In terms of, I spoke to a couple of Chelsea fans and they've said, next round, we'd like to get maybe a Benfica or... I'd like Madrid.
Get that game out of the way.
Yeah.
I think with the run that we're on now, I think it'd be great for confidence. So, we, like I said, we got the players that can do it. We've played Real Madrid before, last 2 seasons in a row in the Champions League stages. But mate, I don't think if we're going to go for it, which we are, because this is the last competition that we're in for and our last chance of winning silverware this year. I mean, I don't want to meet him in the final. I want to take him out early. I mean, I think it's going to be so good for confidence. But like you said, one of the main things now is that last 2 times that we have won the leagues, we are almost coming in as underdogs, which works heavily in our favour because we can fly under the radar a little bit and we can just focus on the football that we need to play as opposed to getting caught up in all the media issues that are going on.